Well, just as quickly as he was appointed, it feels like it's as quickly as he's being disappointed or depoint. I guess what's the equivalent word? Appointed, depointed, whatever you want to put, demoted, basically ousted, if the word as the word would go. But yeah, apparently, as I adjust the camera here a little bit, apparently Bob Chapek is out as CEO of Disney, and Bob Iger, the guy that he succeeded, Chapek succeeded Iger, who was in retirement, is back as CEO. And everybody is very happy about this. Everybody's rejoicing about it. Every news outlet, entertainment outlet has, spoke on this. It is a big surprise because, let's be real here. A lot of people were very critical about Chapek taking over. I mean, they basically made fun of the fact that his name is almost the equivalent of Chapek. In other words, cheap. In other words, the guy likes to penny pinch, if you will. So to have him out and Iger in, or back in, is something a lot of fans, a lot of folks have been hoping for, especially as we approach the 100th anniversary of the Disney company, next year. Everybody was waiting for this possibility to happen, or at least something to happen to where someone would step in and Chapek would have to step out. But he's not just stepping out of his position as CEO at Walt Disney. No, he's stepping out of Disney completely. He's gone. He's done, apparently, according to numerous sources. And it seems that Bob Iger, I guess, made a deal. I guess the stockholders, the board and all that, made a deal with Iger for him to come back, resume his role as CEO. Like I said, just in time for the 100th anniversary or 100th birthday of the company itself, but also to right the wrongs that Chapek had committed under his short term there. And what's interesting is a lot of people basically warned Iger. Even though he probably didn't watch anybody's videos here on YouTube or listen to any of the podcasts across the board, audio podcasts that is, and even video podcasts, but podcasts in general, even though he probably didn't listen or watch any of those, to pretty much, get the warning signs of, hey, this Chapek guy may not be the best solution, it still happened anyway. Just drinking some Coke there. But, yeah, they basically said it was not the best idea. And I think to an extent Iger even agreed, with people within the company, not in a position of power that, the board was in and all that, or those that appointed Chapek were in to be the successor to Iger. But Iger, I know, had heard probably from within the company that, Chapek being appointed as your successor, as the new CEO, that's not going to be a good thing for the company. That's not going to, really reflect well on our image and, where we want to go with the company financially and, in the next several years, especially, like I said, with the 100th anniversary birthday of the company itself, coming up. So, apparently, apparently they decided, what, enough's enough. And, we're going to, go back to what brought us to the dance. And that's Bob Iger. Bob Iger, of course, succeeded Michael Eisner, as we all know, and became, I guess, more of the face of the Disney company, outside of Mickey Mouse himself. He became more of the face, more of the fan favorite among those within the company, with those within the entertainment industry and the Hollywood industry, multimedia, period, as well as fans. Apparently, from what I do understand, he was more approachable, more talkative, more open, more willing to do things that need to be done, and basically he was the exact opposite of Bob Chapek, and basically him and Chapek behind the scenes never really got along. Like, in front of the camera, oh, everything's hunky-dory, right? But behind the scenes, not so much. And apparently, I think Iger kind of, this is just my opinion, I think Iger kind of had a feeling he might go back. Because there was always rumors. There was a rumor as early as last year that something like this may happen, and lo and behold, it is. So I think Iger kind of knew that his retirement was not going to last too long, and eventually he was going to have to be brought back. He was going to have to come out of retirement and re-resume his position as CEO, and here we are. Here we are. Now, apparently, it's not going to be a long term. It's only going to be for, I think, maybe 2-4 years at most, until they basically are able to right the ship again and, correct the wrongs and everything that were made under Chapek's regime. And then I think also during that time they will find a more proper successor for Iger to have that can step into his shoes as CEO while he can finally eventually step back into retirement. So I think that's the main plan from what I can tell, and everything. This news just broke about an hour or two ago. But yeah, that's pretty much what I can tell, that, he's being brought back in for at least the next 2 to 4 years to help right the wrong that was made under Chapek's run as CEO. Recorrect decisions that he made that pretty much hurt the company, and I think in the process probably find himself a more worthy, more reliable successor to the position of CEO than Chapek was, and probably have a say in it as well, instead of just have the board come out and say, yeah, this is who's going to succeed you. So that's what I think is going to happen. But yeah, Chapek's out, Iger's back in, just in time for the 100th anniversary, and we'll just see what happens from there. I'm sure over the next week or so we'll get more information as to what led to Chapek being ousted, not just as CEO, but for the entire company as a whole, and what led to Iger coming back. So let me know what your thoughts are, guys, in the live chat as well as in the comments below. Check out my audio version of this on my BW Roses Discussions podcast. Also check me out at Venmo at Brian, well, not check me out, but support me over at Venmo at Brian-Romer-2 and Cash App at BW Roses 98. Also support me over at patreon.com/BW Roses with the $1, $3 tiers. Also check me out at my Teespring store for merchandise that you can only get there just in time for the holiday season. Also check me out at my DeviantArt page at deviantart.com/BBW1979 and at Venmo at BW Roses. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this, huge news, when it comes to Disney's, changing or rechanging and returning to the old guard, if you will, before, with Chapek being ousted and Iger being welcomed back with open arms. Let me know down below in the comments and in the live chat, and I'll talk to y'all later.